Black History Month can be done in so many different ways, and today our next guest is going to show us how we can do it through honoring and exploring the rich culinary heritage of the African diaspora.
Yeah, and here to walk us through some traditional African dishes and the significance of the ingredients we'll need to make them is Chef Bashir Munye. Welcome back to the show. Good to have you here. All right, so I can't wait for us to taste this food, but first we have to address the way that we are sitting, because this is something you talk about a lot. It's even on your sweat top.
Absolutely.
Decolonize the table. What do you mean by that?
So I've done my master's at York University, and my main interest was around culinary education and how culinary education really perpetuate a colonial frame of mind. Mm-hmm. So have you went in an office and oftentimes there is a table, but you're not really welcome into the table?
Yeah.
They ask you, go grab a seat, but they don't really make a space for you to feel wanted and welcome. Mm-hmm. So as an act of resistance, as an act of resilience, as an act of fighting against the Eurocentric imposition, we threw the table away and we created a space of generosity, a space for us to feel grounded, connected to the earth, and the ability to create a circle by breaking also a lot of the hierarchy around who's the king of the coop, who's the man of the house, who's the head of the table.
Yeah,
that's so great. Okay, so before we get into the dishes you've prepared, walk us through the ingredients that you've laid out here.
Absolutely. So, oftentimes there is a monolithical conversation around Africa being a country and not seen as a continent that has 54 countries. Mm-hmm. So you can only imagine the abundance of fresh produce that we have. Mm-hmm. I love what they call them superfoods. Most African people, they call it delicious food or just ingredients. That by nature makes us really beautiful. And so those are some of the ingredients that we also use in today in the dish. As an example in here, we have, it's called teff, which is the quintessential grain that grows in Ethiopia. And they make this beautiful sourdough crepe, which is kind of like that one right there. It's called anjera. Okay. Yes. So that's made out of a teff. This is called millet. So kind of similar in texture like a quinoa. It's a delicious food, and a lot of Senegalese people, they use them to make this millet porridge, which we're gonna consume later on. And those are like melon seeds. So in a lot of Nigerian, Ghana, Togo, and Benin, they make different kind of stews, and we're gonna be adding them also into our dish today.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's go to our first stop on our food tour. We're stopping in Nigeria, and we're gonna eat something called swallow. So what is swallow, and how do you make it?
Last Sunday night, there was our famous African champion, Nigerian musician performing, and swallow is usually made out of pounded yam or cassava. So it's usually some kind of a tuber that has like really a lot of a gluten into it. So they boil, sometimes fermented, and then pounded down until it becomes this really soft texture, similar to mochi.
That's
exactly.
What it is. Okay. And what is traditionally served with swallow?
So there can be a variety of dishes. Ideally, there are stews. So today we're gonna have an okra and fish stew. Okay. And we're gonna be eating it with the swallow as well. Yeah, okay. That's absolutely the dish.
All right, and you're gonna show us the best way to eat this.
Yeah, there is a cultural way to eat food. You can't just grab it. So anytime you go to someone's home, you want to practice a little bit of a hygiene. Okay. So you just want to like gently wash your hands as a way for you to purify yourself and also to be closer and connected to the food. Okay. Now, I will suggest to start with the swallow. Don't dry too much your hands, because like when you grab in the swallow, it's kind of glutinous.
Oh, I see.
Kind of like mochi.
You need to keep it a little bit more.
Right?
It's very warm too.
Yeah, it's warm. You soften it, and then you pick up your dish, pick up your stew.
Is it this?
Yeah, bring it closer to you.
Look at me, go.
Yeah, just gently push it through.
Okay.
And then just bring it closer to your mouth and enjoy it.
Andrea's wearing white today.
I know.
I love it.
I couldn't be wearing a worse outfit for this. I'm wearing white with a skirt, but we're gonna make it work, because I'm gonna eat all this food before we're done.
That is so good. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Okay, our next stop is in Somalia for some goat head soup. Tell us about this.
Right here, in the conversation around sustainability, my community, Somali people, pastoral by nature, we always been indoctrinated around eating from snout to tail, from head to toe. And oftentimes people are very intimidated of being able to see the head of an animal. But when you really see the head of an animal, it gives you closer connection and have a deeper understanding what the meat is. So for you, we braised the goat head, we made a broth, and it's supposed to be soothing and warm and making you feel, especially with today's weather, making you feel wholesome inside.
Yeah, listen, I would love to tell you this is my first time having the head of something in a soup, but it would be a lie. Growing up in the Caribbean, we did a lot of this, so this is delicious. This is so good.
What is traditionally served with this?
Traditionally served with mufo, which is this sorghum flatbread.
Oh.
And it's like really chewy, it's really dense, and instead of using wheat flour, Somali people, they use an abundance of sorghum. Now, prior to colonization, most people, they will be eating only local ingredients within. And Somali people, we are not agricultural by nature. We are pastoral, so therefore, whatever that we find within our environment.
Okay, we want to make sure we get to this next. It's Ethiopia, a country known for their communal dining experience. It's one of my favorite places, like restaurants to go to, is Ethiopian restaurants. Fans. Yes. Tell us about this vegetarian dish called gomen.
Yeah, gomen, it's a stewed greens. I work in this beautiful farm called the Black Creek Community Farm. So gomen is these green vegetables, and there are a variety of vegetables, and the idea is like for you to pick up the injera and connect it with the food closer to your mouth. So pick up the plate, bring the food closer to your hand, take a piece of the injera, as you know, and then just like bite and have fun with it. That's the gomen.
So good.
Sometimes the spice, it can also just be like wonderfully like arousing. Is that the word we can
arousing,
use?
I love it, intoxicating.
She's aroused, okay. Let's go to our last stop. Let's stop off in Senegal. Yeah. And there's a dessert, it's like yogurt, it's a millet yogurt porridge. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So millet, again, is this ancient grain that a lot of West African countries, they use. And we made it this buttermilk and yogurt. Oftentimes it's fermented, but at the end of like a heavy meal, it's cool, it's refreshing, and it's ultimately really fantastic for your gut.
Oh my goodness. You know what? We love it when you come here.
Oh my gosh.
So
Thank
much.
you,
Chef
Cynthia.
Bashir, thank you for being here today.
Thanks a lot.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.